I would like to introduce you, or even tell you about, a collector who shares his vast collection in a dynamic and extremely uncluttered manner via, and no smiles or jumping up in the air because we want to tease him a little bit, right? He shares his collection via the internet. Okay, any brand has to move forwards and change with the times. Corgi, you know, there's so much nostalgia there. But, you know, to keep up with the times, we've got to change, and we've got to stick with technology. So the collecting world is being served by this gentleman in a very, very distinctive way. He's overcome the common problem of both storage and display. I used to do a show called Collector's Lot on Channel 4, and, you know, I'd go to home after home and see these wonderful displays, and literally divorces had happened over the subject. I'm sure you've all heard stories about it. So this guy has solved that problem by cataloguing and then photographing each and every single item in his collection. Then what he does, and here's the rub, right? He takes that photograph and he shares it with collectors worldwide via the World Wide Web, the internet. Okay, so he does that. That's good. He's got the information, it's catalogued very nicely in a nicely presented website. But then what he does, he takes the photographs and he puts them up against a backdrop of a photograph of a skyscape, which he's taken from an aeroplane while he's on to and from on holidays. He's added propeller spinning effects, and he's added smoke trails, and he's put those on the web for everyone to download if they want, and then he's turned them into calendars. Oh, I can see it. I can see some shaking head. It's amazing. You can download your own Corgi calendar. Why hasn't Corgi got in on this? I think he deserves his own stamp of approval. Okay, so other novel approaches, which I'm going to briefly list. He's added to his Corgi universe by, and here's something which the marketing department should think about, maybe a limited edition. He takes a photograph of the plane. That's nice. Okay, that's good. Then he gets the plane out. Right. Okay. Pops it on top of a kind of a pedestal which he's made. And then what he does, he finds a photograph of, in this case, the pilot. Okay, it's a signed photograph even better. He's probably had to go to an auction or buy that off eBay. So it's a fine signed photograph of the pilot with the aeroplane in situ on a homemade pedestal with a homemade period frame. And he presents it together, takes a photograph of that, and then puts it on the internet with all the details about that plane and the model and all the history and everyone that made it. It's an incredible service to the collecting community. I've never come across anything like it. And when I got that pack in the post with all these other hundreds of other applications, it stood out as being something completely extraordinary. Lastly, his wife Isabel wrote a poem about his family connection. And also, if anyone deserves to go to Hong Kong, well, it's very difficult, all 10 do, but I'm sure he's going to create a blog, he's going to take a quick time movie, it's going to be on the internet before he's even got on the plane to come back home to this country. So, without further ado, I would like to say thank you on behalf of Corgi, everyone here today, to a sensational, nay, the best collector I've ever come across with very stiff competition. And I hope Corgi give him a stamp of approval on his website. It is Mr. Tim Healy and his Aviation Archive model collection. Come up onto the stage. Oh, you've had to listen to me talk for so long. Tim, can I ask you a few questions, please?
I'm stunned, absolutely stunned. This is dedicated to all the loft dwellers. I'm sure everyone will mean by that.
Okay. A couple of questions, if I may, if we have time. If we have time. We have time? Jolly good. We have time. Firstly, okay, cards on the table. I've built you up there. You haven't been collecting for as long as some of the people here, not since the 50s. But you have. Where did the passion come from?
Well, I love anything to do with aeroplanes, and I'm also a pilot, so I fly aeroplanes as well. And as soon as Corgi came up with a model aeroplane, I was instantly taken, and obviously I've got every aircraft since then. I have a passion for anything to do with aeroplanes, absolutely.
How many Corgi Aviation Archive models do you have?
About 650 kilograms worth. And I've got a photograph of the crack in my loft roof to prove it.
And are you going to become...
It's well over 550 models.
Are you going to be approaching the managing director with your idea about signed photographs and aeroplanes for a limited edition?
I think it's a great marketing idea. It links the model to real history and real people, which I think is quite important. And that's been one of the focuses of my collection, is trying to find a bit more about the model itself and the people behind the aeroplanes and the airplanes. So yes.
Two last things. Obviously, Corgi are moving to the future with the sight and sound, and you're getting that kind of interactive experience. What do you think about that new range?
It's an interesting idea. I haven't yet. I've just got my first sight and sound model, so I haven't put the batteries in yet. So I reserve judgment on that.
And lastly, I mean, if you had a message to Corgi, I mean, you haven't had any practice, I haven't told you we were going to be up here today, but if you had a message to Corgi, maybe a vote of thanks or a message for the future, what would that be?
I'd say be brave with the choice of model aircraft in the future. Look to what the collectors are saying and what they think would be good models. And for me, it doesn't matter if it's an aeroplane, I'm going to buy it.
So a source of revenue guaranteed for Corgi in the future.
Guaranteed source of revenue.
Tim, and the most noble collectors who are here today, thank you to you all. And Tim, I'd just like to present you, on behalf of Corgi and everyone here, the ultimate collector, your ticket to Hong Kong with money and everything and production line experience. And
thank you everybody. Thank you to my fellow collectors as well who supported my website and given me encouragement in maintaining it.
All the best for the future, my friend.
Thank you.